I'd found something on the internet one time when we had a big problem with them.
A problem with gnats?
Yeah. Doing a little bit of orange juice in a glass, covering it with saran wrap and a rubber band, and then poke some holes in it.
Yeah.
That one.
That's what they recommend, or apple cider vinegar.
Yeah.
Or apple cider vinegar with some like fruit in it, or
right.
You put a little dish soap in there because then they can't get out of it.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what specifically with the orange juice.
I'm guessing
they break through the holes, and then there's something about not being able to find the holes, getting drunk on that fruit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dumb gnats are not. They're fruit flies, I guess.
Yeah.
Not gnats.
Fruit gnats.
They're fruity. Like, well, not you tonight. You don't have your rainbow socks.
Yeah, I don't have any rainbow socks on tonight. Just got boring black ones.
I like your Pepsi hat. It's nice
Thank
and
you.
retro looking.
It is, yeah.
It's kind of, what is that, like 1999 Pepsi
yeah,
logo?
something like that. I don't really like Pepsi, but
I don't either. But I do like
it's a good logo.
It's like when they were the Generation Next or whatever they were
Yeah.
calling it. Like there was a moment where I was a Pepsi guy just because it was cool and convenient.
In the 90s, I was a Pepsi guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I bounced off of that.
We all had to be. It was a requirement of I don't know what, something.
Yeah.
Something the marketing told us to.
Yes, marketing told us to.
Mm-hmm.
And then I discovered Mountain Dew. And then that was my jam until I really came back to cola and in the Coke variety. That's usually where I sit, although this Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
It's really good, yeah.
It's really good. If you wanna pay us, Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, Blackberry.
This episode is brought to you by Blackberries in Dr. Pepper.
Not the
the
mobile
actual-
phone.
Not the phone, no.
Not the mobile phone.
Are they even around?
I don't know if they are. I don't think most people would want one if they were.
I remember how awesome those things were until Apple dropped a phone. And then it was just like game over for BlackBerry.
Yeah, the iPhone, I remember when it was coming out, everybody was like, it doesn't have real buttons.
Yeah, no one's going to be able to do anything with that. No work will get done. That'll be a play phone.
Well, and like everybody before that had just been used to like touch screens being like clear plastic, almost
right.
like a film over a screen, and it felt weird, and there was a lot of give, and like the idea of having to type on that sounded like a nightmare. And then they came out with a glass screen, and everybody's touching that going, oh,
this actually feels not too bad.
Yeah, I guess this will work. But yeah,
now will be 20 how many 20 operating systems? 26, 25
19 operating systems
later, but they're changing the naming.
I saw that. I didn't really read into it, but I saw they're changing to 26. I'm guessing
they're going to start
just going to name them after
naming
year.
them for the corresponding year or the year that they are close to being released in. Which in some ways I'm like, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I think especially when you go to the actual operating systems for the computers, because I don't even know what the operating systems
are they changing
namings,
that too?
I think so. I think they're doing it across the board.
So it's like Mac OS 26,
yep.
iOS 26,
Apple TV 26,
tvOS,
or tvOS. That's right. Yeah, I don't have as many Apple products.
I mean, that's smart.
Is it Watch OS?
Yeah,
26. Yeah.
That is going to make it a lot easier to keep track of. So they're done with Big Sur.
I think they're done with yeah. Because what I mean, they went from big cats to mountains to then
there's like
places in California.
Oh man,
it's a little elitist. Isn't it?
You triggered me.
How did I trigger you?
Are you on TikTok much? I mean, I know you are a little bit.
A little bit. I tend to just stick to the Zucker.
Have you been following
stuff.
much of the Tippy Toes guy on the trending?
No, there's a Tippy Toe guy.
Brendan Abernathy.
Brendan Abernathy.
Okay,
I'm not familiar.
So he's been going crazy on there, and I just can't help but like keep up with it because it's just so obscure and weird. But he's like a musician.
Okay.
You know, of the hootin' and hollerin' type.
Oh,
something that
okay.
you might, be familiar with.
Did see. Maybe you'd sent me something.
And when you said something about out in California, it made me think of this, which I'm just going to play a little bit.
Married in a year in the suburbs, with a kid on the way in 3. Convincing yourself you're living the American dream. And I'll be dancing on California. Kid who got it all wrong. Convincing myself one day I'll write a love song.
Anyways, that has been like going viral because he like keeps standing on his tippy toes and he's not really singing it all that well. I mean, in the circles we ran with, that'd have been like respectable though. I
think we still outshone him, but
But it's just it has gone so viral.
Yeah, I did see a clip. So now that I didn't know who it was or that it was that big, but I saw somebody posting something about this dude basically playing sellout arena shows just out in the streets.
Yeah, I don't think that's a sellout.
I think they were saying, because he's covered in people. He's just surrounded by people the way that you would be in an arena.
Well, that was like a staged thing for his to promote the single releasing, which was supposed to come out next month, and then I think with all this hype, he decided to release it now, so it's available now. So you can go.
So you can go listen to this song about California,
about being married,
in
the suburbs.
Man,
having a kid on the way through. But it's just funny because people have tore him apart. They're so brutal.
Really?
They're talking about how garbage he sings, how bad the songwriting is, how annoying his mannerisms are, how he's just doing weird screamy singing and it's bad. And
he's going to be popular and he's going to tour the country.
I mean,
and make his money.
His response has been very, I guess, honorable, as I'll say. Just like he's kind of just leaning in, playing along with the jokes, doing a lot of promo where he's taking his shoes off on camera just so you can see him in his socks.
You want to see these tippy toes here? Yeah.
But I don't know. It seemed pretty unoffensive, but I think the cool thing right now is kind of 90s music. That's what's cool is to kind of sound like 90s indie rock or something.
Yeah.
And so folk stuff with Gen Z and Alpha is cringe, I think.
Right.
And so anything that kind of has that folky alt,
I think that's because millennials grabbed onto it real hard.
Yeah.
As it hit its fever pitch.
And it seemed like the folk thing was kind of over, but then kind of made a resurgence again recently.
Yeah.
It was
yeah, I mean, Mumford kind of pulled themselves back. I don't think they fully fell back into their first 2 albums, but they definitely are closer to their first 2 albums than the next 2 that they released.
Yeah, Head in the Heart was another big folk band. They kind of came back to
their
more
first
of their folky
their
roots.
album, their new album's a little more closer to the roots.
But you got
Lumineers,
the Lumineers.
They never changed.
Yeah, they didn't depart much.
They were the ones steadfast. That kind of
just held on.
Kind of felt like they did the same. They were like, we're gonna be the same band that we've been.
Yeah,
and that's okay.
Because I know when we were making music, it was pretty cool to do the folky stuff, and I feel like, we wouldn't have batted an eye at doing a song like this.
No,
it would have been.
In fact, we did. We tried. I think.
Yeah, we probably had something close.
We had something that was in that vein.
But it's just interesting that how hated it is. I've watched so many people just pretty much have a thesis tearing this guy apart. And I just kind of want to comment on every one of them, but I don't. But it's Imagine just taking like a Springsteen song or any other song, and I don't know, Britney Spears. That was a real relevant reference. I'm just saying, like, just pick anything out of the sky, and then be like, here's why this song is written bad. Here's why.
Yeah.
I mean, I could do
They're
that
all
with
bad.
Maroon 5 because I think all those songs
All of those.
written badly.
Yeah.
But that's just my preference,
Yeah.
It's interesting. I don't know. Poor guy. Not really. He's gonna be.
He's gonna be fine.
He's gonna be well off. He's gonna be way more famous than he would have if he would have been. It's just an interesting story of getting met with hate and getting popular from hate versus like love and adoration.
That's true, because it does not seem like there are as many people that are when they go viral or whatever. Everybody's like, "Oh, that's funny." I mean, even the Hawk Tua girl didn't seem like she got the same level of hate until her Bitcoin, crypto coin crashed and everybody lost money that put anything into it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It does. A lot of people were saying he has like worship leader, youth pastor vibes or stuff like that. Getting up
I suppose you mix a couple of different things if you've got a little bit of the youth pastor, worship leader vibe, and you're doing some of that hey-o shout,
hooting and hollering music,
and hollering business.
I'll be dancing in California. He gets all whispery and he does this little finger dance thing, and I think that really annoyed people a lot, which I get. It is a little dramatic because it's a little bit. I'll be dancing in California. That's the part that just got everyone. It got me too. I was kind of like, that's a little weird. I don't know. But the screamy singing, like, that's probably like, I don't know, at least 50% of my playlists. You know, like, give me some.
A lot of.
I mean, it's no Hot Mulligan. He wasn't getting there.
He wasn't getting there.
No, but still. Anyways, that's everyone's TikTok update for the week. They need people got to know what's trending, and that's what they come to.
You got to know what's trending, and we're gonna bring it up because it's stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Anything going on in your world that you've been noticing? Fun things, exciting stuff? Or you?
Exciting stuff, fun things. I don't know if I'd call it that.
That's what we all do as adults every day.
No, I was looking at my list and I'm like, man, I really am an old man. This is ridiculous.
You're like, my sciatica's been acting up.
My sad life. No, I did manage to do one of those things that I don't think is necessarily the old man injury, but it felt like it was along those lines. You know how like older people, they'll just bump their hand against something and like they're bleeding or whatever. You know what I mean?
It's usually because of the meds they're on gives them thin skin.
Yeah, something like that. So it's not even remotely the same thing, but I was trying to take a very large cardboard box that our crib had shipped in for our daughter. I was trying to take that out to our dumpster, and our apartment complex has those like push doors, those little metal things that you push in, it releases it. And so I've kind of got my back to the door thinking that I'm going to catch the bar above it and be all right. Well, I pushed myself too far out and caught the corner of that thing, that part that you push in. That hurt so much. Got myself a nice little bruise in my side.
Doing okay?
Yeah, I'm doing okay now, but man, I was just like, it's one of those things where, the older you get, the more you're like, man, I avoided so many different injuries like this when I was younger and quicker, and I'm just moving slower these days.
It's okay.
It's it's a great time to do that too.
We're all getting old.
When you got a child that's not mobile yet.
Mm-hmm. You'll be fine. They'll be on a walker. You'll be on a walker.
I know,
It'll
right?
Be good. Chasing each other around, living the American dream.
Living the American dream. California? Is that?
No,
yeah.
No.
Oh no!
You're the one who's in the suburbs.
Living in the suburbs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which The suburbs are gonna maybe be a little less expensive.
Oh,
did you see the judge?
Judy?
Not Judge Judy. I think it was a judge, or it was a federal court ruling, I guess, that told Trump he didn't have the right to make these tariff deals.
Well, I hope that stands, because these tariffs are junk.
Yeah, I know. I'm curious what his people will do if they'll try to overturn the decision. But it's like, oh, maybe there's a little light in at the end of the tunnel there. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be, right? Like we can't afford this.
140% tariffs. Yeah,
we can't afford this. We can't afford any additional tariffs right now. Just kind of back them up. What happened to the making everything affordable? And then here we are 150 days later, and well, things are going to get more expensive. You just gotta grin and bear it.
I guess that's what makes America great, and I just didn't know it. Is that paying more money for stuff? That was what we liked to do in the good old days, I guess.
Was life greater when we were kids and poor?
I don't know. It's simpler, for sure. I feel like my imagination was better. The poorer I was, the better my imagination was sometimes. I could
Yeah, but
although it's probably because I was a kid and I didn't have any real responsibilities, so I didn't really know I was poor. I just knew I didn't have the stuff that other kids had, but I didn't really think about it. Right. So I just made a bat cave out of cardboard.
Well, and now you have your video games and 700 different subscriptions to keep track of all the different TV series and movies. So
yeah, that
makes it a little harder to
use your
imaginative as well.
You're just relying on other people using their imaginations and hoping.
That's why we play video games.
Yeah, because I can be a little bit creative.
Yeah, it's probably why we get upset about video games. You just go into a game and go, come on, why aren't you working the way that I want you to?
Yeah, I don't know. It is. I mean, you've got stuff like Fortnite that's kind of like the action figure equivalent now, where you can buy all the different action figures and keep them in one place and go play with them. But yeah, I don't think people are really using their imaginations on that game. No,
you're just saying, oh, I got a better action figure that I like.
But yeah, I don't know. It is interesting to think about. I think boredom is the mother of imagination.
That is true.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Put it in the store.
But I do think it is, because I think it's just like when you're bored, like if you ever just drive and you don't turn on the radio, or you just sit there in the silence and the hum of the car, at least for me, that's when I'll have like ideas that I normally wouldn't have. And so I find, but sometimes they're scary ideas too. So then sometimes I just want to drown it out with a podcast.
I don't know if I did a lot of driving this last weekend.
Yeah. In silence.
And I did do a lot of it in silence.
Do you have any good ideas?
I don't know that I really had any good ideas, but I know that my brain was turning. I was turning a lot of different things over in my head.
The devil was like in your head telling you to put a fried egg on your wife's head while she was sleeping.
No, I didn't get that one.
Oh.
Didn't get that message.
Put a fried egg on the baby's head.
No.
Okay.
No, that wasn't it either.
That's good then. Then you're not.
You know what? Part of it was probably that I just really had to pay attention because I was driving through Missouri, and that state just likes to try to kill me.
What's going on in Missouri?
Well, I mean, so we have to drive through there to get to my wife's parents.
The in-laws.
They live on the other side of the state, in a different state. But we got to go through all of Missouri.
Okay. Missouri seems like a bad state to me, but I don't know. I haven't spent much time there other than Kansas City.
So, I mean, the first time that I felt like it really was trying to kill me was when we were coming back from Christmas. It's like the first week of January or something. And it snowed everywhere through the entire state that Sunday. We drove back on Monday. St. Louis was really bad because I just don't think they're prepared for anything like that. And it was the morning, so it was the worst. But we got through. They had a lane or two through most of their interstate. Get past St. Louis, and it was like everything had been cleared off. We get up past even Kansas City, and it's mostly cleared off. Get to St. Joe, and it was like they took one plow through on one lane the night before, and then they were like, yeah, I'd say that'll do it.
Yeah.
So that felt like we were going to die numerous times on that stretch. Then we went this weekend, and I tell you what, there are so many different potholes in the middle of the interstate throughout Missouri. That's just, I'm like, how do you have potholes like this?
What's the speed limit?
I mean, it's 70. So
you're flying.
Yeah.
Nobody's actually going 70. Everybody's going more.
It's crazy. And
how does your car not just like fall apart?
I know, right? I mean, there were several points where I'm like, I'm moving into a different lane because I feel like my whole car is just going to shake apart if I stay in this lane that has not had any. And there's always construction. They just don't fix it. I don't know what it is. On our way back, we stopped, and this is for if you're listening to this and you're out there, Mr. Dude in the truck.
Yeah, I'm sure he's listening.
He's probably not. He was really old.
Okay.
He should not be driving.
Oh, wow.
Higginsville, right? We're stopped at a gas station that has a McDonald's, has a big drive-through, but there were cones out. I'm in the process of putting my daughter into her car seat. So I've got my back out. I just hear this kind of crunch sound, and I finish buckling her in, and I turn around and see that this truck has driven the wrong way through the drive-through. So they started at the back end, drove through it, and over these cones. He turns around and then proceeds to drive through it and run over the cones again while I'm still standing there because we were parked right next to it. I'm like, what are you doing?
Like a semi-truck?
No, just a pickup truck.
Oh, okay.
An old dude and his wife sitting in the passenger seat and a tiny dog sitting on one of their laps.
They were just out for a good ride, a good time, you know?
And then he proceeds to go through the thing. He doesn't stop where the screen would be or the ordering thing would be. Finally gets back around to the thing, and I see a McDonald's person lean out and going like, we're closed. The line is closed. You have to come inside if you want food. But it was just...
Well, you never know.
It was startling.
You never know what life will bring.
Yeah.
In the drive-thru.
No idea. So, yeah, Mr. Truck Driver in Missouri, Higginsville, Missouri, you should have your driver's license revoked. You're a menace. You're the worst.
Maybe he'll go to jail for that.
I hope so.
And in jail, he might discover what I've been hearing about is these drug smuggling cats.
Oh, drug smuggling cats.
Yeah. Have you heard about these cats?
No. Cats that smuggle drugs into
prison.
Now we're talking the animal cats and not just dude cats, right?
Yeah, not cool cats.
Not a bunch of cool cats from the 50s.
No,
gangs.
And not cats like anthropomorphic Broadway singers.
Right.
Not them either.
And not like, furries.
Nope.
You're not allowed to bring those into, I don't think you're allowed to bring those into prison. They would that be skinning them?
I don't know what would happen,
if you
but
take,
it would be bad.
If you take the furry off of the person?
Yeah.
Is that like getting skinned?
I think that is. I think it's bad. I think they look down on it. But yeah, there's I was seeing the authorities reporting these incidents of cats being used to smuggle drugs in and cell phones. I don't know how they're doing cell phones. Maybe they got like taped under their
poor little
chest.
kitties.
Yeah, or maybe they're getting something out of it. Who knows?
I mean, are these lions that are going in?
Catnip or something, maybe, or treats.
Give you a treat. Go hack up a cell phone hairball.
I don't think they're eating the cell phones.
Well, where else would it be?
I don't know.
And what prison is letting cats in?
I don't know. They go out in the yard, probably. You know.
Oh,
Like, you know what I mean?
So these cats are highly trained cats to like climb fences or scurry in some way, shape, or form, find the person they're supposed to in the prison.
That's what. Wow. So they're finding somebody.
They're finding somebody.
You know.
How is anyone making any money off of this?
I don't know. Maybe they have to put money back in the cat and then send the cat away.
Yeah, but you could just take it out of the cat. And if the person is not there watching...
Maybe the cat shows up first, you put money in the cat, and then the cat leaves and gives the money to the smuggler person, and then
that could work. Then the cat just comes back in, and whoever gets it, it's already paid.
Trust that your money was going to the right person, and that they were going to actually help you out and give you the thing.
Yeah,
but I don't know. It's weird. Maybe
this feels like a too far-fetched a story.
Yeah, it does.
A little bit.
It really does. You should really fact check it. You should probably go to Snopes.
Yeah.
And see if cats are
Should we do that right now?
I mean, I believe everything I read on the internet. Smuggling cat.
Smuggling cats.
That's probably not a thing. Here we go. A YouTube report says prison guards catch drug smuggling cat in Costa Rica.
Okay. Well, that...
As you can see, is furry and has 4 legs. Guards caught this cat as it jumped over the prison fence at night with marijuana and crack taped to its body. Guards carefully cut those packages from the cat's tiny body, removing the drugs from the fur. Prison officials handed over that cat to an animal health service to be checked out.
There you go. Trying to accuse me of fake news.
The logistics of it still do not make any sense.
I'm glad people watching this couldn't see that video, because it was kind of sad to see just this cat wrapped in packing tape.
That's horrible.
They're like trying to pull it apart. Yeah, it's messed up.
There's a joke in here somewhere, though. I don't know how to land this ship, but there's a joke in there about dogs that work for the police that are drug sniffing dogs.
Oh yeah.
And cats that are smuggling drugs.
Yeah, keep workshopping it.
Yeah, I don't know what the joke is, but it's there. Yeah, it's there because cats and dogs.
You're right on the cusp of it.
If I had a little more time to prepare, maybe we'd find it.
Mm-hmm. You just want you want to try it out now. You can just
no. I mean, I don't even know if it's necessarily a joke. It's just you're just
pointing out the irony of
yes. I think that's
drug
probably
sniffing
what it
dogs
is.
Being a thing, and also drug smuggling cats being.
I'm kind of disappointed that it wasn't a drug sniffing dog that busted the drug smuggling cat.
They didn't overtly state that, so it could have been.
That's true. And if it's in a foreign prison, maybe they have dogs that they just sick on people.
Yeah,
like olden days.
Yep, I'd say so. I believe it to be true.
All right, that's what I'm gonna believe happened. There was a dog that was sniffing around and caught wind of cats and drugs and just really lost it.
Yeah. And they got that cat.
Cornered him, and cut the tape off of him.
Mm-hmm.
Poor cat got a little haircut that day.
I'm just trying to watch the news for headlines that aren't depressing. I mean, it's still depressing, but it's not. It's more like odd and not as not like the end of the world. Just like just
a little like what's going on?
Yeah,
how did we get here? How did we find ourselves there?
Another thing you gotta ask, how did we get here, is Sydney Sweeney Bathwater Bliss. Have you seen this thing going around?
Yes, I had it on my list too.
We're on the same page there.
It's trending on Twitter today.
Oh man, that's interesting. So as far as I can tell, it's soap with a tiny bit of her actual bathwater in it. Is that?
That's what it seems to be advertising itself as.
Is that even legal to
I
sell?
don't think so.
I feel like there's some sort of like there should be a restriction there.
Didn't some chick get into a lot of trouble? I feel like we've done this story on a previous podcast, Life.
Yeah, in another lifetime there was a story, but that was like I feel like it was just like a woman that was selling her bathwater on eBay or something like that to create creeps or something like that.
I think you're right.
Right up there with like underwear and socks and who knows what else.
It's it was also just upsetting that you've got a situation where somebody that is rich and attractive can be approached by a company to say, "Hey, you want to make some soap and we'll just sell it because it's you. It'll sell."
How do they collect the bathwater, you think?
I don't know.
You think
that seems invasive.
I just want to know if they come to her or she goes to them.
She probably had to go to them.
They got like a tub and they're just like, hey, just hang out in here for a little bit.
Is that Squatch brand or Squatch? Sasquatch.
So.
Yeah, and that brand, I don't know. I've seen some of their advertising in the past and just gone, these guys look like douchebags.
Well, the other thing that's weird with her is they also, not they, but the company I'm thinking of is it Hey Dudes?
Okay, with shoes?
The shoes. Like they recruited her to sell that brand, and it seems, I guess that brand is like kind of like the dad shoe or something. I don't know. So maybe they're just like, dad's like Sydney Sweeney. They're gonna buy that now. Yeah.
And that, that feels like that's normal advertising. We're gonna go find a pretty lady and put her in our product, right?
Yeah, but she's not wearing
wearing Hey Dudes, and those guys know that she's not wearing Hey Dudes.
That's the thing that like disturbs me though, that people are that simple-minded that they'd be like, Sydney Sweeney, I like Hey Dudes now.
I like those shoes. I don't know if it was because they were on the lady or not, but maybe I'll go buy me a pair.
It's embarrassing.
But this feels like it's just that extra layer of gross. Like, are you really going to go and buy that soap? What I mean, the market audience for that is just perverts. Yeah,
I don't know who else is buying this soap.
Whereas the Hey Dudes thing
is only for perverts. It's a pervert shoe, and you wear when you wear Hey Dudes. It's like they just put you on like a sex offender list, like a Minority Report type of situation, where they're like they're probably gonna commit a sex crime. But it's not
like they're advertising that she has stepped into every shoe that leaves the production floor. Yeah. That's what that would feel like.
We put a little bit of Sydney Sweeney's foot sweat into every shoe.
She sweat a couple drops off of her feet into your shoes.
They probably sell a lot more to the perverts.
They probably sell a lot more to perverts.
Yeah. I don't know. It is weird. It does feel like there's some sort of like a biohazard type of situation. But also it's like, is it... They got a whole tub of her water, and then they like put like an eyedropper amount in each bar.
She seems to be in the pictures, so she's probably been involved. But I mean, with AI and Photoshop these days, who knows if it could have just been that they were creeps. Like I saw on Twitter, there were pictures of her sitting in a covered, but like sitting in a tub holding the bar of soap.
Oh, well, I doubt that.
That looked like they were the advertising ones.
Marketing photos, Kyle.
Yes, but I'm just saying, like, if there is something that is not above board, they snuck into her house and just nightly.
I wasn't suggesting that. I'm just saying, like,
you're saying she's in on it. Practically, how did they collect
how much bathwater is in the soap? That's what I'm asking.
My guess is zero bathwater is in the soap. And that it's just a publicity stunt to get perverts to buy their limited edition soap that doesn't actually have anything, because that feels like that would not pass health regulations. But, I mean, the health regulations in this country have changed so rapidly.
Yeah.
I don't know if
we got Doge on the scene.
I don't know if Bobby's on board with bathwater being used to make soap.
Bathwater Bobby, that's what they call him.
Bathwater Bobby.
He's been advocating for this for years, as long as Sydney
I've really
Sweeney has been alive.
I've really been waiting for attractive women's bathwater to be in everybody's soap. We're gonna be better. You're gonna feel better.
It cures you more than any vaccine could.
Yes.
If you bathe in this, it cures COVID.
How was my Bobby voice?
That was AIDS. It
I've
almost sounded
not
like
practiced it.
It
ever,
almost sounded
so
like
it was probably
you were,
terrible.
Bobby and Trump had a baby. That's what I felt like was going on there. That was Bobby Trump, Bob FK Trump.
Yeah, I felt like it was okay for a first time ever attempting the voice.
Okay,
I'll work on it.
Yeah,
I mean,
work.
He's probably going to be in office for a while, so
we'll see. Who knows? Things change fast nowadays.
That's true.
But yeah, I don't think I need anybody's bathwater in my soap.
No,
I'll be okay.
In fact, I am very much for no bathwater in my soap.
But there's soap in your bathwater.
Yes, there's enough of my own bathwater that comes in contact with my soap. Mm-hmm. I don't need anybody else's.
Throws off your pH balance.
Yes.
But maybe it has that effect like where people have poop problems and then they have to get somebody else's poop to put in their butt to where it like makes them poop better.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, there's like services where you can buy other people's poop and then the enzymes or the whatever the chemical balance of their poop, like it has microbiomes that you need to help your digestive system that you're lacking, and then you like put it in your butt, and then you get the benefits.
It seems like this is how diseases are spread.
I don't know.
Not resolved.
Coronavirus,
I guess.
That's only if you put bat poop in your butt.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Speaking of poops, I saw a giant one today.
That's random.
In the back of a truck.
You saw a poop in the truck.
I don't know. I could not tell if it was just like an advertisement truck for a dog poop scooping company. Mm-hmm. Because it didn't look like they had a name or like a phone number or anything. And I can't remember what the name was. But they had, I mean, this thing was like probably sits a good 8 or 9 feet tall in the air in this truck. Giant brown like ice cream turd sitting in the back end of this truck.
So it was just like a fake turd though.
It was a fake turd, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't real. Okay. But I mean it looked like somebody was hauling around that scene from Jurassic Park in the back of their truck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The T-Rex poop.
Yeah. Whatever poop that was. And I don't remember what the name it looked like there might have been a company name that was written on it, but I also could not tell if maybe this was just some kind of novelty.
Seems like
vehicle.
It's taking up a lot of space in their truck.
Yeah.
They could be using for like important stuff.
Yeah, I had the thought, if you are hauling away poop from dogs, this vehicle can't be possibly doing any of the work. Where would you keep any of this? Unless the poop was hollowed out really nicely.
Maybe it was a big incinerator made out of that was in the shape of a poop. And then they shoveled the poop in there and it incinerates it.
If that's not what it was, we've got another brilliant idea for making money here.
Little smokestack at the tip of the poop that lets out all the smoke.
I love it. Mm-hmm. I love it.
Okay.
We're just gonna start stealing other people's ideas and making them our own.
We didn't steal this idea.
No, but I mean, this
was original.
Like taking ideas of things that we've seen and go, we can make an original version of this, like we did with the golf a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. And
now we'll have the on the go incinerator for your dog poo needs.
Okay. I don't know what burning poop smells like, but I imagine it smells bad.
It's probably bad, but what else would you expect the car to smell like as you see a giant turd driving down the road?
Yeah. Do you start incinerating it right away, or do you scoop it out of the people's property, and then when you drive away, you fire up that incinerator?
You fire that thing up as you start to drive away.
Choo-choo. It's just
Poop truck coming through.
yeah. Yeah, the choo-choo, the Poo-Poo Choo-Choo.
Poo-Poo Choo-Choo.
You should make the truck look like a train.
Ooh, yes.
And you call it the Poo-Poo Choo-Choo. And little kids will love it, and adults will love it because you clean the poop out of the yard.
Yeah, you'll get the attention that you would get if you were driving the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
All aboard the Poo-Poo Choo-Choo.
Poo-Poo Choo-Choo.
It's fun to say, too. You know, those things are marketable.
Yes.
When it's fun to say. Yeah, I was trying to just think of stuff that's going on. I know one kind of big thing happening next week is the Nintendo Switch 2 is releasing in the United States of America, as long as they got all their shipping containers snuck over here. So that seems it's interesting.
It's already here.
Yeah, next Thursday. I think
they did not leave a large amount of time between the announcement and when it
the pre-orders
came out.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, but I feel like it's got a little less fanfare than I expected. I feel like a lot of people for a long time were like, we want a new Switch, and it's here-ish, but I don't know. I think a lot of people bought, like, did the pre-orders, but I just it wouldn't
surprise me if a lot of it is just the expensiveness of getting the new console.
Yeah,
and in this economy.
Well, and it seems like it's probably a combination of the inflation, but also Nintendo seeing the success of things like the Steam Deck and going, oh, okay, people kind of want the grown-up Game Boy. Like, we need to put a little more
into it.
But yeah, it's probably a mixed bag there. I'll be curious to see how well it sells, and if it's. They were saying early on that they thought they'd have enough to where it'd just be on store shelves even, but I don't know, we'll see.
I find myself, I also wonder if there is some just feeling torn in if I have, what is that running? $4.99?
$4.50.
Or $4.50?
Yeah.
And then what, you can get a Steam Deck for how much?
I mean, you could get the basic model without the nicer screen for probably $400.
For $400. So you're talking Nintendo is now selling their new console for as much as these seemingly more powerful consoles that are handheld.
Yeah.
That are running PC software that have different things that you can do to try and up what it will even do.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's part of the reason that the fanfare for it is not as excitable. Some of the games that they're releasing are going to be, for the foreseeable future, playable on the Switch too, or on the original Switch, right?
Yeah. Although I'd say the Switch did a really good job of being friendly with like indie games, and stuff like that. I mean, I heard today a crazy statistic that said that when they were testing the backwards compatibility, they tested like over 15,000 games.
Wow.
And I'm like, I couldn't even. I mean, I'm sure a lot of it's garbage, like throwaway games, but still, it is. Yeah, it's not a Steam Deck, and it's kind of a different thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm curious.
I think some of it is just
it's about the same size of a Steam Deck.
If I want to spend the amount of money and have a handheld device, do I want this one?
Yeah.
Would I have played my Switch more if it had had better performance and more access to games that I could play on the go, access to being able to play Xbox Game Pass on there, the way that I think some of those devices will allow you to?
Yeah. Wait, like what? Like the Steam Deck, or?
Yeah, and I don't know that the Steam Deck does, but
not really.
But I know a couple of those other ones that are like that. You have some options for that. If they're
I think
running.
The draw with Nintendo for most people is just going to be their first party games.
Right.
So it's like that's the only way you can. Well, unless you're pirating them or something, but like that's kind of.
Which I think, at least for me, and I would imagine that there's probably other people that are in similar situations. If you're weighing, hey, if I'm going to spend another $500 on a new console or new gaming equipment, do I want to spend it on another Nintendo that maybe for limited games that I would play on, or do I want to buy, even a PlayStation that I haven't gotten, or do I want to buy, there's a lot of different things that you could be spending, gaming wise, if you're going to be dropping $500.
Yeah, which I mean, the OLED Switch is $350, so it's really only $100 different. So
sure,
it's not. I mean, I think it's probably just where what you want to do. But.
Right. I think it's just that there's more options that are out there that makes it. Sure. I think that wouldn't surprise me if that's part of the reason that the fanfare. I did see that people were upset about the cover art too. Did you see that
on the box?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's just because the box
there's like a big disclaimer at the bottom.
I didn't see that part.
So I think that they'd announced the other day the new Pokemon Legends game or whatever, and at the bottom there's like a disclaimer of some kind that says, hey, this is the Switch version, but it also has an upgrade to the Switch 2, blah blah blah. There's a little QR code in the corner.
Or are you talking about the game box art?
Yeah, like the game box art itself.
Console box.
And people saying that it distracts from the game art, or from like the box art itself having such a big disclaimer. I mean, it's probably only about that big, but having it go across the entirety of this instead of being on like the back or whatnot.
I had more seen people talking about that they thought the box of the console was confusing because it looks very similar to the current Switch hardware box. And they're like, it's going to be a Wii U situation where people didn't know, like a Wii U situation again, where people didn't know the difference between the two consoles. But it's like, I don't think it says Switch 2 big, which makes it a lot more clear. Like, I think if they would have called it the Wii 2, it might have been a little clearer.
And I think most people thought Wii U was an attachment that you bought that was a screen that you could play the Switch or the Wii on,
the prototype
versus it being an actual separate console that did a lot of the same things but was brand new and did not work separately.
All right, well, let's give something to the Patreon folks. If you're a Patreon subscriber, stick around or go to somewhere else. Go to Patreon.coms.
Yeah.
We'll see you over there.
And if you aren't a Patreon person, why aren't you?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, $1 or
come hang out with us there. It's $1.
$1.